Hi Aries, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for May 8th to the 14th. This is my second taping of this because I realized I didn't like the format of the first one that I did. I originally was just pulling spreads on the different transits that are going to be going on this week. I don't know, I did you in Taurus and I was like, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it because today is the what? It's the to hell with it day. Remember those of you who watched my videos last week, I said Monday, May 3rd. Careful of the communication, right? You may end up just getting frustrated and saying, the hell with this. Well, that's what I did. See, I don't take my own advice sometimes. I probably shouldn't even be filming today, but anyway, I hope you guys are doing awesome today. So I'm going to actually start first with the general spread and whatever comes up, and then I'm going to break it out into a love read. I'll timestamp below. Whatever else comes up, okay? I will timestamp though for the different sections if I go in a different way. We have milk and honey to start. So we have, talking about starting May 8th, we have Venus entering Gemini, and this is happening in your second house, your third house. We have Treasure Island. Okay, beautiful, and we have serendipity. So you're kind of focusing on, it's very interesting because I feel like we're getting a lot, there's going to be a lot of focus on things that matter to you. The milk and honey card in the Wisdom of the Oracle is very focused on, it's kind of like a Taurus energy, right? And we do have the new moon on May 11th in Taurus. So it is kind of like that, focusing on the value system. And really getting in touch with what it is that you want, need, and desire, what you value. I mean, a lot of this has to do with your value system right now. And very serendipitous things are going to be happening. There are no accidents at all. All right, I do like that. So let's pull some astrology cards here. So you have this Venus entering Gemini in the third house, which is Gemini's house, Aries. So lots of communication, right? Gemini wants to have their finger in every pie when Venus is in him. I mean, its curiosity motivates you to really communicate with people on a romantic level. You might be kind of flirty, getting out there socially. Very sociable, very communicative time. You might even feel like you're a little extra animated and fun in this energy, but you also may be in a space where you're still kind of keeping your distance on an emotional level. But what's good for you here, particularly as you have in the third house of communication, which is, again, Gemini's house, attractions now can begin like from the mental realm with words, before anything else, where you just connect with people and ideas through the mental realm, which is beautiful. Now, the shadow side of Gemini is fickleness and this, I say like this need for a Renaissance energy. Sixth house routine. This also has to do with work as well and pets. So, there's going to be a lot of kind of almost like a scattered energy in your third house. You want to think about it like that. But with Venus in there, because Venus is everything that we value, it's money, it's love, it's scattered where you're going to just be hungry in many different directions. Really having your interest piqued by many, many different things. Because remember, Gemini is not only about communication, it's also your siblings, your extended family, your neighborhood, short distance travel, it's learning, it's doing business, it's signing contracts. So all of these things, Venus in there, Venus is a money planet and also very concerned about how you feel about yourself, right? Because Venus is love, money, and self-esteem. Having that in Gemini, you're really doing a lot of communication regarding business, relationships, family, you kind of name it. It's all sort of happening for you. And then we have the new moon on May 11th, as I mentioned, in Taurus, and it's going to be with the sun in Uranus hanging out there. So here it's, we're getting out of that Aries new moon, going into the Taurus new moon, right? You're finishing up your new moon. And this is a really good time to commit to personal goals that express really the bull energy. And what does that even mean? Simple pleasures, physical pleasures, because remember, Taurus rules the body. So this is a good energy to savor good food, enjoy activities that bring you close to nature and also to your body. Great energy to get moving, for massage, for meditating, for Reiki, for any sort of chakra work, any sort of working out. Really good energy to do that. But it's also time to slow down, because the more aware you are, of what makes you feel comfortable and secure, the better off this transit's going to be for you. So this is a good cycle to reevaluate your relationship to money, to possessions, and to really figure out what matters to you, because this new moon, Aries, is happening in your second house, which is the home of Taurus. So that's a money house. It's also the clothes on your back and the roof over your head and how you feel about yourself. It's everything we value. So this is going to be really coming to the forefront right now. So the thing too here is with this energy, this new moon harmonizes with Neptune and Pluto, which suggests that our inspiration and determination support our efforts to begin something fresh and new right now in our lives, which is great. And while the square to Saturn and Jupiter are wide, they're relevant because the new moon is closely squaring Jupiter and Saturn's midpoint. So you could be dealing with the desire to grow and expand, but also dealing with limits and rules, right? Because that's what Saturn does. And these things might take up a lot of your energy. So you might need to watch out for being too lackadaisical or controlling. Also on the other end, working on getting a good balance is probably a great strategy, really good strategy right now. But you have the opportunity to make a lot of important changes in that second house, having to do with money again, feeling good about yourself, things that you value. It's time to make some solid yet realistic plans and set the stage for reaping the rewards, right? From any sort of new beginning. And the thing is, it's the changes that you make, even the dumbest little adjustment would be very effective right now. So new, little or big, it doesn't matter, but you have to watch in approximately 2 weeks time after the full moon happens, you're going to start to notice things going on. So I do like that for you. So we have the 10 of Wands coming into this energy. So, 10 of Wands is the card of overwhelm, it's overwhelm, responsibilities, burden, just an overload of demands, and there being almost like a catch-22 kind of thing going on, right? Where you want to make some changes, but you can't because you're very busy with other things going on in your life. It's like, that kind of energy. And I know this sounds horrible, but it's like, I don't have time to get a divorce. I don't have time to end that relationship. I don't have time to look for another job while I'm still doing this. I don't have time to fill in the blank, right? And, just because these third house, second house energies that we're talking about, I do feel like there's some sort of culmination coming. I do feel this, especially because we have Jupiter going into Pisces on May 13th. This is happening in your 12th house. So I feel, and the 12th house is the house of the hidden. It's the subconscious. It's the unseen. It's also where self-sabotaging can happen. Now, we could talk about that a little bit, but I feel like there's an energy of overwhelm. There's a lot going on behind the scenes for you, right? Internally, I do feel like. So we see here, we have the 3 of Wands being crossed by the 2 of Wands in reverse. So the 3 of Wands is about, first of all, it's a good fortune card, but it's about thriving business, there being a very busy, intense period. This could be an indicator for a wedding or at least an important relationship. This could be you moving on to realize your plans or wanting to, maybe dealing with an unconventional person or group of people, or dealing with some sort of unconventional situation in your life. And don't judge yourself if there is something unusual that you're dealing with right now. But we do have this being crossed by the 2 of Wands in reverse. Mrs. Plans falling apart and thinking small and things, just you wanting to move forward, but you not being able to because there's something that is overwhelming you. And I just think it's worth understanding this week what Jupiter entering Pisces means. This is one of several unfolding of these energies, just to say that. But the most important thing here with Jupiter and Pisces, if we're open to it, is the idea that just when things seem hopeless and bleak and it feels like something might be challenging, Jupiter comes in out of nowhere and salvages the situation like a guardian angel, like a just-in-time kind of thing, like giving us a get out of free jail card. But this has less to do with like good fairies and all of that, and more to do with Jupiter and Pisces bringing a deep faith in in the benevolence and significance in life, and openness and willingness to receive whatever Jupiter has to bring. But it's really important to understand what's going on here, because with Jupiter, whatever energy he's in, he's always looking for the meaning in life and the truth. And in Pisces, that meaning is not found in the external, because as I said, Pisces rules the underworld, your subconscious, right? So it's not found in the external, it's found inside of you, within self. So this is a supportive energy that could turn negative experiences into positive ones and obstacles into blessings if you stay open, right? And, great energy to pray and meditate and retreat and exercise stillness and listen to good music and look at beautiful art, all of those things. But here is the possible tricky part. The kind of stillness and self-care that we're talking about here is not very easy for everyone all the time. And the personal truth that seeks to come out in this house can be difficult, right? Because 12th house is like digging stuff up from underneath all of that, right? So there can be a challenge there. And what ends up being on the other side of that is this almost desperate hunt for joy in other directions instead of within self for fulfillment. So there could be reckless behavior, overindulgence in alcohol and drugs, manic theatrics, hypocrisy, any kind of self-defeating behavior kind of thing. And this transit pushes us, though, if we're open, pushes us to give of ourselves and to embrace compassion and imagination regarding situations that we normally wouldn't. Right? And that's the thing here, because this is happening in your 12th house. This is all happening underneath, behind the scenes. So there's going to be a lot of shift in your consciousness, I feel like, right now. Now, we have the crowning energy is the Emperor, right? So leadership energy. This is all about, this is in your, obviously, it's your energy. This is you. And you're ruled by Mars, right? Mars is your modern ruler. Are you really wanting to take charge of something? Just wanting to take charge of something. But the Emperor energy is, listen, the Emperor, first of all, if you're single, this could be meeting somebody new, really nice energy, who gets it, who understands what a relationship is. This could also indicate you want to take the bull by the horns and say, I want to have more control over my life and my situation and my circumstances. I want to make change. Right? Because the Emperor is a very new energy, because it's Aries, right? And you guys are the babies of the zodiac. You're the first sign. So it's this idea of a fresh path. Come on, let's go, right? Wanting to do that. And the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands, these are both, Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy, and the Three of Wands is Sun and Aries energy. So we have all of your energy here. This is crazy. And then we have beautiful Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy. So this has to do with cooperation, moderation. For some of you, reconciliation. For others of you, healing. This does indicate angelic guidance. For those of you who believe in your angels and your guides and people helping you from the other side, you may feel this very, very heavy right now, especially with Jupiter entering Pisces. It's a very... the veil's going to be very thin for our Aries friends, for sure. Now, a new level of trust in relationships can be had after a difficult time period, a volatile time period, if you experience that. If you're single, you might find yourself energetically or spiritually pulled towards a new partner, somebody new. Very emotionally intense time. If this has to do with career or money, you might be dealing with difficult personalities at work, either too aggressive or too sensitive, but with empathy and cooperation, things can be handled. So I do like that. That's really positive. Now we have the Nine of Pentacles for you. You're really focusing on yourself. This could be anything from you focusing on some sort of independent endeavor and gaining a financial reward because of your effort. You being really focused on that, or even finally meeting a healthy connection after doing a lot of solid work on yourself. It could certainly have to do with that as well. There's just so much communication that's going to be going on for you right now. And we have this, Mercury is going to be going retrograde. It does half the time anyway, so we don't want to freak out about it. What we say, it doesn't go backwards, it just slows down, and it's just a time to reevaluate, reassess things, right? You have this happening in your third house, so that's where Venus is. So while you have Mercury in there, Mercury is getting ready. Mercury is in what I call retro shade, right? It's the pre-retro shade, having to do with the 2 weeks before the actual retrograde happened. So be prepared to work with the story that begins now until July. Choose the path and direction that you want to take extra carefully and reconsider things as you're going. I'm saying that because with the Nine of Pentacles, really you're very focused on something. There's a lot of focus on yourself. Now this can indicate, again, finally meeting a healthy connection after doing that solid work on yourself, or putting a lot of energy into some sort of project. All of that's awesome. And all of that requires a lot of third house energy, right? But with this pre-shadow, you want to be careful not to state impulsive, silly sentiments with others that may end up, hurting or cutting people, right? Especially like who you're friends with or you work with. If you don't watch what you say, then there's a high chance that you can create some unnecessary drama with those that you care about. So really be careful to use and choose your words wisely. That's happening on May 14th in your third house, Aries. So just something to keep in mind. Now we have the Two of Swords as an external energy that's influencing you. And this is all about being in an emotional stalemate, needing to make a decision. So somebody may be in this space where they're in this place where they're in an emotional stalemate. They may be confused over something to do with you, a relationship, a friendship, a family situation, a work situation, something like this. They need to stand their ground. They need to say what they think and be very openly honest with you regarding something. Now your block here and your challenge is the King of Cups. So this tells me that a need exists, to settle some sort of conflict, either within yourself or with somebody else, and you're unclear how to do it. And this is a little bit of a challenge, because the idea here is to follow your heart, but you may be in the space where you're not really, really sure what it is that you want. You're just not sure. You might also be dealing with some guilt. There's a lot of deep internal stuff. Milk and Honey, Treasure Island, these things are very kind of deep, very deep. To have the 6th house, this works opposite the 12th house, right? This has to do with your mental, physical, and emotional health, how you work your day to day. There's something serendipitous that's happening. You're realizing something here. And then we have the Magician, which is Mercury. Mrs. Gemini and Virgo, right, is ruled by Mercury. Conversation, communication, whatever, in order to problem solve. This could be signing something on the bottom line having to do with that work situation, right? Because Virgo is that work situation. It's being able to crystallize something that you see in your mind's eye and you're really wanting to do it. It's you bringing yourself into this space where you want this new beginning. Is this for career? This can indicate a new beginning or direction, right? This can also indicate inspired leadership from somebody who's a very solid and practical individual, who's a real problem solver, right? That's that Virgo inflection in there. So some of you, it's going to be like that. Others of you, it could be just really wanting to kind of deepen the communication within your relationship as a way of solving problems, right? But the final outcome energy is the Star reversed. The Star reversed is depression. This could also indicate illness. This can indicate arrogance and feeling ignored, being ignored. This can also indicate sexual dysfunction, some sort of impotence. So if maybe you're trying to get pregnant, maybe there is some sort of challenge that you're going through in this area that maybe you need to seek some help, having to do with, particular, like if you're a male, to get looked at. If you're a female, go to a doctor and see if that happens to be how you're resonating with it, because that is what the Star reverse can mean. And it's like everything is happening just as it's supposed to. Some of you aren't going to want to hear that, but that is what I'm feeling for that. Now let's pull for relationship. Aries friends. Courage. Dreams. Home. Wow. Courage, dreams, and home. you're being required to be very brave in the face of something. Pay attention to your dreams, which I would say anyway. Jupiter in Pisces in your 12th house. There are going to be a lot of dreams happening. Home doesn't only mean your physical home, but it can. Obviously if you're married or you're living with somebody, or if you own a home together, that could certainly be it. But it's also that metaphorical home, feeling grounded, rooted, safe, and secure in a relationship, feeling really good about what it is that you're in. Yeah. Nine of Wands, 10 of Cups, 4 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. You're feeling very protective of yourself, Aries. You might be really worried about money, not because you're miserly, but because you are really just plain up concerned about having enough moving into the future for the relationship. Some of you, others of you, Pentacles also means mental, physical, and emotional connection. So you can be in the space where you're just really self-protective. You're just all about your security. Some of you are going to be watching your resources. Others of you are just going to be watching your heart. Watching your heart. And some of you just may be very focused on yourself, because this could also indicate getting, like, if you're doing something part-time as like a side gig, you're getting more opportunity in it. So, you might just be very focused on that as well. The situation right now, though, we have the 9 of Wands and then the 10 of Cups being crossed by the 10 of Cups. So the 9 of Wands does indicate that you're in a strong position, that you're really tired from fighting for something. If you feel like you've been fighting for something in this relationship for a long time, whether it's to have your viewpoint seen, or whether it's just in general for the relationship, and you're going to have perseverance to stick with it. You're feeling very defensive right now, though. You just want to be careful to not, you don't want to spiral into this dark mindset, because your efforts are going to be met with success as long as you maintain a balanced and careful approach, right? Because if you don't, I always say 9 of Wands, after 9 of Wands is 10 of Wands. If you lose your balance here, but it's like you're holding on for the idea of something, right? This idea of the 10 of Cups energy, this family, the contentment, the security, whatever you've been putting your energy into regarding this relationship, you just really wanting it to come together, communication, romance, business, family, right? Especially if you guys are like working together or doing anything together, there is this idea, but it's crossing you with this 9 of Wands. It's almost like a breaking down. It's like breaking you down here. So you really do need this idea of courage and safety here. We have the 4 of Wands, which is a home card as well. So this means several things. I mean, on the one hand, this could indicate a new partner opening up their heart and expressing their love and affection, right? This could be the honeymoon card. It definitely incites, though, this idea of security. Lots of energy for security. So a lot of you maybe, don't be surprised if you're kind of resonating with this, where if you're single, on an energetic level, you're so afraid of really allowing yourself to go, because you don't want somebody to come in and either try to take your money, try to take your stuff, try to change you, or break your heart, right? Because the 4 of Pentacles energy is like trying to avoid all of that coming into this. And you're just tired from all of it, even though it's almost like this golden carrot being dangled, this idea of the 10 of Cups energy, right? What we do have is the crowning and the best to be achieved, the 4 of Wands, which is really great. And to have the Ace of Wands as the foundation, this is really great, as this is auspicious for a new beginning, really great for family. This is an energy of virility, starting a family, new chapter of passion. Those of you who are single, this is a brand new relationship. Those of you who are in a relationship, this could indicate pregnancy, like a new chapter in feeling really connected. So either somebody new's coming in or you're connecting with somebody else. Let's see what other cards come up. We have the Page of Cups. So Page is, young into the court. So this is good news coming in, having to do with something regarding your emotions. This could be a new potential partner, like right there on the near horizon. You want to avoid getting swept up too soon. This could indicate a new cycle within a current relationship that you have. This page always means a new cycle. Cups or emotions, but this is you, like you're ready for a new cycle. Ready. Have you been dealing with the Seven of Swords energy? This is the thing. Have you been dealing with somebody, Aries, who's dishonest, who's immoral, who's running away from the responsibility of the relationship? Did they overstep their boundaries, or are they selfish, right? Because in this energy, you're really going to need your spidey senses turned up in order to kind of play them at their own game to find out what you need to know. Interesting, because the challenge here is the Ten of Wands energy. And the Ten of Wands is, again, the card of overwhelm. We mentioned, I was like, you want to be careful. We had the Nine of Wands in the other spread. But Ten of Wands is just feeling very, very overwhelmed, The responsibilities of the relationship really are just kind of very challenging for you. And this is a block, this is a real block. And it could be the kind of thing, Aries, where you very much want to be in fill in the blank, in that relationship, that marriage, whatever, variation of a relationship you're either in or not in. But you're very, very worried about, or you feel this great responsibility regarding the responsibility, money, the upkeep of a relationship, the upkeep of a home, the upkeep of being a parent, however it would resonate with you, is something to be considered, okay, for many of you. For others of you, you might just be so busy in your life right now that you're ignoring your relationship. Your relationship is being neglected because of other things going on in life that, for whatever reason, need to be given, first priority over your relationship. And this is a challenge for you. This is a challenge. But you want to make sure, are those things, are you using, or is your partner using excuses to not be closer to somebody? Especially if you are single, are you using a lot of excuses really about why you're not with somebody? I mean, it's just something to think about, right? Because that can be what this energy means, where they're like, no, seriously, I really don't have the time. All right, well, maybe you have a little more time than you think, or maybe you really don't have time and you need to look at why you don't have any time, why there's no balance, right? So it could be anything like that, because that is the Ten of Wands, like not feeling very balanced, right? And then we have the Knight of Wands in the near future. So the Knight of Wands is really about firing up your ambition. So events speeding up, blocks being lifted, decisions coming in, and forward movement. Forward movement here. Lots of forward movement. And then we have the Six of Wands, which is great. I mean, this is feelings are shared. They're well received, really positive communication coming in that could end up leading to the deepening of connections. It's just good news, just generally, to any aspect of life, really nice. And really good for decision making. Very good for decision making as well. Let's just see if we have anything else coming up for the Page of Pentacles. So this is interesting because we have the Page of Pentacles. So the page, again, page always indicates this new cycle. So you're being very hardworking, very reliable. There's some sort of new beginning. There's some sort of newness that's going on here, Aries. But whatever new is coming in, I feel like there's some sort of residue from something from the past, because we have the Two of Swords energy, which means you're at an emotional stalemate. You need to make a decision, but you want to protect yourself. And you have to make a decision because there are two aspects of something. So this could be two people, or you're very confused about two aspects within the relationship. Maybe, should we get married? Shouldn't we? Should we have a child? Shouldn't we? But you know what I mean? Two, however it would be. For you, then we have the Death card. So this can indicate a breakup, or a permanent breakup, or a temporary one, where you guys will find your way back to each other again if the bones of the relationship are good. but with fresh eyes, right? And a new mindset after breathing it out a little bit and doing some internal work. But the death energy is Scorpio. Scorpio's modern ruler is Pluto. It's about endings and beginnings. It's, you know, it's a lot of things, right? Scorpio's a lot of things. It's death, it's sex, it's taxes, it's debt, it's many, many things, but it's endings and beginnings. So you might be ending a situation and meeting somebody new, but you're not totally out of something else yet. Even if you're not with that person anymore, I'm talking energetically, right? This is a general message, understand? So, you know, you're not all going to resonate with it the same way, but it's that the idea of the death. And then we have the Six of Swords, which is about moving on, right? Detachment, time apart, at least taking a break from the relationship, allowing some space to do some internal work. So this is what I'm seeing here. Now, it's interesting because I feel like something really good is going to be happening in relationship, but I don't know if it's going to be happening with the person. I don't know. This feels very specific. I don't know. Maybe you're in a relationship and it's really not going very well and you meet somebody else is what I'm feeling here. Or you're in a relationship, things have been really challenging. You really talked it out. You thought you had a meeting of the minds, but as it turns out, I feel like you're dealing with somebody who's not telling you 100% the truth. Somebody is not being, we get the Seven of Swords and we have the Two of Swords here. So I'm feeling like there might be some lip service going on for other reasons. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody doesn't want the challenge of ending something, you know. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.